Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Corey McKinney. Recently, I just did a video on why the U.S. is bad at soccer, and truthfully, what I found was we're not really terrible. We're just behind. And so interestingly enough, through a couple of videos that I was just watching, doing some research, I've been doing some research on the women's team as well as I've been working on a video. Really excited to get that out for you guys. But while I was going through all that, I found this video and it was very intriguing. I have not watched it yet, so this is live reaction for you guys. Where would American leagues fall in the English football pyramid? This is really cool. I know of two leagues here in the States. I think we have the MLS, which is the biggest one, and then I think we have USL is the is another one. It's the United States Soccer League, maybe. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. But anyway, I'm excited to see. Maybe there's some leagues that I'm going to get exposed to that I don't know about. I see a lot of people post to say, well, the MLS needs relegation. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you, right? To make it more like everywhere else around the world. The problem is I don't think that we have the leagues to support that here. However, this may change my mind. And so this is how the American leagues would fall in the English football pyramid. And I think this is going to be a great video. So let's dive in.
Where would the MLS and the professional league that I compete in, the USL Championship, fall in the English football pyramid? In this video, I want to break down and compare these leagues in 5 different categories. The first category is all going to be data-driven based off their power ranking from globalfootballrankings.com. Then we'll look at the highest paid, the average, and the median salaries in all these leagues. We'll then head to transfer market and look at the total market value for teams in every single one of these leagues. We'll look at fan attendances, and then finally, we'll actually ask players that have played in both of these leagues or in both of these countries to see where they think these leagues will stack up. And then finally, to sum it all up, I'll give my overall thoughts. Now, last thing before we start this video, I want to put out a big disclaimer. It's really hard to compare leagues. Teams in these leagues rarely ever play each other, and if they do, it's just a meaningless friendly. And also, there's just so many variables that go into it. It just makes it very challenging to actually rank these leagues. And every single person has a different opinion on where it was harder to play or which team's better. I'll try to be as fair and unbiased as I possibly can and just look at the numbers. But again, I'm an American and I want the MLS and the USL Championship to do well. But anyway, let's get into it. Category 1. Power index. To start off, we're just going to go to globalfootballrankings.com and look at the power index they give all of these leagues. Now, their power index is a crazy analytical tool that they basically determine based off results, based off the players, based off a whole bunch of different factors. It's not perfect, but it's going to give us a good base, a good starting point to see where these leagues stack up just based off the data. And at no surprise at all, they have the Premier League at the #1 spot for the best league in the world. The best team in the league is actually Man City, not Arsenal. Not sure why, but Man City with a score of 90.8 and Bournemouth sitting at last with a score of 54.8. If we move one step lower on the pyramid, we have the Championship, and they have it sitting at the 11th best league in the world. They have the best team in the Championship as Burnley with a score of 56.5, and the worst team is Rotherham United with a score of 29.7. If we move down to the third tier of English football, League One, we have the best team sitting at 41.5 points, and that's Derby County. And then the very low end, we have Forest Green Rovers with a score of 8.9. Then if we move down to the fourth tier of English football, League Two, we have Salford City with 17.1 points, all the way down to Hartlepool, which only has 4.9 points. Now the question is, where does Global Football Rankings have the USL Championship and the MLS? Now, interestingly enough, they actually have the MLS above League One with a team range of the Philadelphia Union with 56.2 points, all the way down to DC United with only 29.5 points. And then they have the USL Championship as the 30th best league in the world, with the Tampa Bay Rowdies sitting at 29.7 points and New York Red Bulls 2 sitting at 4 points.
Okay, that's really interesting. Now I don't know how much credence and credit you give to this on the power index scale here, but I did not expect when he was pulling all these out, I was like, oh, here we go. The MLS is about to be like the lowest one, but third ain't bad, or actually like right at the level of League One, almost saying that we could compete in the second tier there, or some of our teams could. I don't know. That's pretty interesting. That was a surprise. Wasn't expecting that at all.
Number 2, salaries. First, if we look at the Prem, the highest paid player in this league, Kevin De Bruyne, takes home £400,000 a week. Now, you can expect the average player in the Prem to be taking home around £70,000 a week, with the median player expected to take home around £55,000 a week. If we drop down to the Championship, the highest paid player here takes home around £110,000 a week, with the average player taking home around £8,000 a week and the median player taking home around £5,000 a week. Dropping down to League One, the highest paid player here takes home home £19,000 a week. The average top earner at a club takes home just under £5,000 a week. The average player takes home around £1,700 to £2,500 a week, and the median player takes home around £2,000 a week. Dropping down to the fourth tier of English football, League 2, the highest paid player in this league is expected to be making around £12,000 a week. However, the average player is making somewhere between £1,300 and £1,500 a week, with the median player expected to be earning around £1,250 a week. So that's what professional footballers make in the top 4 leagues in England. Now, how does that compare to the MLS and the USL Championship? Well, the highest paid player in the MLS makes $14 million a year. If we look at the average player in the MLS, they're making around $514,000, and the median player is taking home $248,000 a year. If we take a look at the second tier of the US football pyramid, the USL Championship, the highest paid players here typically make over $100,000 a season. The average footballer is expected to make between $40,000 and $50,000 a year in total compensation, with the median sitting around $35,000 a year. Category number 3,
that's not
transfer
bad.
market, total market value.
So the salaries, I feel like America's probably a better competitor there on that, and probably will be for a while. Now, I don't think we're touching English Premier by any means. But as the sport grows, one thing that America is really good at is throwing money at things. And so, especially if we like it. So when it comes to paying players outrageous contracts, that's just right around the corner. I mean, we are not far from that at all. And so I'm really interested to see how that stacks up over the years. Once again, blown away though, was not expecting it to be as high as it was, given what we know, how much we care about the sport at this point. So I'm really looking forward to the transfer market values though. I think this is going to be a good category for us.
This category basically looks at how much all the players on the team are worth based on transfer market's market value. It's not perfect, but again, it can give us a rough estimation about how good the players on these teams are.
I think we're going to do
now,
well
if we look
here.
at the Premier League, the best team in this league is worth 1.05 billion euros.
Never mind.
The average team in this league is worth about 516 million euros. And the lowest market value team sits at only 226.7 million euros. Dropping down the championship, we have the
I'm gonna go ahead and pause it, because right before he said the number, I was like, hey, I think we're gonna be pretty good here. But I was processing that in real time as I said it, and I thought for a second, I was like, wait a minute, no, that's not gonna be good, because I forget just how well these teams are supported in the EPL, and he dropped $1 billion on me. I wasn't ready for that. So I'm going to go ahead and guess and say that we're not even close. We're probably going to be like League One, maybe, with MLS. There's no way.
best team worth 125 million euros, the average team worth about 52.28 million euros, and the bottom team at 21.25 million. Dropping down to League One, the best team here is worth about 23.6 million euros. The average team is 9.56 million, and the bottom team is just 5.2 million euros. And finally, with League Two, we have the top team worth 9.18 million euros, the average team 3.65 million euros, and the bottom team worth only 1.43 million euros. Looking on the American side, in the first tier, the MLS, the top team here is worth 53.03 million euros. The average team in this league is worth 38.62 million euros, and the bottom team in this league is worth 19.95 million euros. Dropping down to the second tier, the USL Championship, the top team here is worth 6.15 million euros, with the average team sitting at 3.93 million euros, and the bottom team in this league worth 2.48 million euros. Category number 4.
I've been wrong about a lot of things, but that was a heartbreaker right there. We're not even remotely close. Oh my gosh. That is insane. Oh, that's insane. We're just not worth a lot on the grand scale here. My goodness.
Fan attendance. In the Prem for this current season, the average attendance is sitting at 38,170 fans per game. The Championship is currently averaging 24,621 fans per game. League One is just above 10,000 with 10,469 fans per game, and League Two is 5,552 fans per game. Across the pond, we have the MLS average.
I'm gonna guess. I will be surprised if our average attendance. Now, they're not taking this year into consideration, right, with Messi coming on. That is not being factored in here. I think that this year we're probably higher. Given where the stat line is right now, though, I am willing to bet money that we're going to probably be right above League Two, maybe. Let's see.
Averaging 20,962 fans for last season. Never mind. And the USL Championship averaging just over 5,000 with 5,080 fans per game. And I know fan attendance really doesn't mean anything when determining how good a league is, but it's just another factor to break down and compare, and I think it's cool to see. Now, finally, I wanted to get a player perspective. So I asked 5 different people that I know personally that have played in the USL Championship or in the MLS, as well as played over in England, and I asked them their opinion about where the MLS and the USL Championship would fall in the pyramid. And unfortunately, their answers were kind of all over the place. The first player I talked to basically grew up in academies in England, and now he's currently playing in the USL Championship, and he pretty much said that the MLS is pretty on par with the Championship. And he said that the USL Championship is probably right in between League One and League Two. The second player I talked to is Scottish, and he's gone on tons of trials in England, as well as played for multiple teams in the USL Championship. He actually had the MLS sitting above the Championship and the USL Championship sitting above League One. Wow. The third player I talked to is English, currently playing over in England, but has played in the MLS. And he said that the MLS was on par with the Championship. And he said that the USL Championship was on par with League One. The fourth player I talked to is actually American and had played over in the USL Championship and now is living over in England and playing lower leagues over there. And he said that the MLS is on par with League One and the USL Championship is on par with League Two. And finally, the fifth player I talked to said that the MLS was just a smidge behind the Championship, and the USL Championship probably sits right in between League One and League Two. So overall thoughts, looking at all the data, looking at transfer market, looking at the fan attendance, talking to players and getting their perspective, you can kind of start to see where all of these leagues would start to fall based on this. And again, this is just basically a guess at best. But overall, obviously, the best league would be the Prem. Then I would probably put the top 5 championship teams in their own category by themselves. Then I would probably say the rest of the championship below that is on par with the MLS. And then I would say that the top 5 League One teams are probably on par with the bottom 5 MLS teams. Then the rest of League One is probably on par with about half of the USL Championship. And then the top half of League Two is probably on par with the bottom half of the USL Championship. That's what I'm getting from all this data. Take it with a huge grain of salt, because I've never played over in England and I've never played against a team from England even. But I hope it gave you just a little bit of insight, at least into something about these leagues.
So that was interesting, right? That was interesting. One, given what he measured, was not expecting the MLS to do so well. It's cool to hear from player perspectives too. I'd really like to hear more, right? I wonder if there's guys out there, surely there's guys out there that are willing to talk about, their play in America versus Premier. I want to know what Messi thinks. I would love to know what Messi thinks in comparison to how the MLS is to the rest of the leagues that he's played in. Now, he's obviously just having a good time over here, right, scoring goals and everything like that. But I'd like to know his honest opinion, maybe when he's done and he can speak candidly about it. But to see that the MLS, for the most part, is pretty much up there with the Championship League was news to me. I guess I just didn't view the MLS that highly. I didn't think that we were really there. I get a lot of comments, on this channel talking about how we're lacking in a lot of areas, and so it's kind of comforting to kind of cool to see that we're really not that far off now. But between Champions and then going up to Premier League, that's a huge jump. And we're not there, and likely won't be for a long time if we ever are. And so, I'm willing to concede on that. I knew that wasn't true, right? I knew we weren't in that area. But to know that we're just one tier down, that's pretty cool. That's cool. Look, if you like this content and you want to see more things like this, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Comment below what you want me to react to, what kind of videos you would like to see, and I will try to get to them. Hey, little plug here. Membership's only 99 cents. It goes a long way to help me. If you would join that'd be great. 99 cents is like, what, 12 bucks a year? That's not bad at all. Anyway, I'm Corey. Thank you so much for joining in this video, and I will see you in the next one. All right, check. We are live, listening in. Cool. And let's do it.